I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think your presentation is rather disrespectful.
Why is it? Why? What? How are you?
Hi, I'm a registered Republican.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
But there's, I'm not
proud of that. But
there's nothing disrespectful about saying that sentence, though.
No, I think it offends certain people.
But is that my problem?
No. Okay, but here, like, this is what we're saying is like.
It's not. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, and like, as someone who is on the right, who goes to school in the middle of the most far left place in the United States, I understand how frustrating it is to like stand here and have people be told you're wrong. I've been told I'm pro-lynching, I'm pro-gun, I'm all this stuff. I'm just okay. That is definitely your opinion. I've seen one too many kids die in the last year to agree with that. But
I was a high schooler shooting.
But anyway, it's just like what we're trying to say is we can hold these opinions, but like this representation right now, like the ICE hat and stuff, there are more people standing back in fear to listen to what we're saying, and I think that is sadly what gives us a bad rep, is that we're not able to have these conversations that you are pushing that are great. But the thing that sucks and it is like being in Portland and where it's liberal is that we have to like sit and we have to present ourselves in such a high way to even be like nearly respected for it like that, where all these other people on the left can just go at it and it's considered passion and like great conversation, but we can't have it. So that's all I'm saying is that like, and what she was basically trying to say is like your points are valid and it should be heard, but the representation of like this sign is causing more people to not want to listen than if you just sat and talked.
That's exactly correct. But here's the problem is that we need to highlight that. If all of a sudden you can't say this sentence and they turn you off, I am illustrating such a cultural cancer that exists.
That I know, and I definitely
you see that because look, there should be nothing. I have nothing but love for all people, but love does not
demonstrated in that sign to me. In your hat and in that sign, that's
okay.
not
So the hat, I love them because they go after child traffickers who I think should be put in prison forever. And I've known communities that have been cleaned up by ICE. So let me make it perfectly clear. ICE
you also recognize that they tear families apart?
Well, they go after illegal immigrants, sure, that broke our federal immigration laws. I'll get to that in a second. But nothing I say here is, it's a misillustration of what I'm saying. Oh, it's incited it. Hey, talk to me, have a conversation. But if people are offended by this,
that is why we're having this conversation.
This should not be deemed offensive by anybody. You can disagree with it, but that shows how.
Why shouldn't it be deemed offensive? If somebody doesn't identify as male or female, identifies as transgender, or you can say them pronouns.
They can do that, but don't force me to pay for it. And I can also have my own opinion that biologically, chromosomally.
I think that you can hold that opinion and also
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean.
Right, but I think you can also respect.
I do
people.
respect.
Right, but saying that shows disrespect.
No,
to
it
the
doesn't.
people.
That's the whole point. I'm
If
not.
I were
So
to
if
walk
the
up to
sign,
this
if the sign
and
said,
I didn't identify as female or male, I would feel offended.
but that's the problem. We become so soft because I don't say I hate transgender people. If I said that, then I would understand your argument. I don't say I think transgender people should be locked up. I didn't say any of that. I simply made a statement of opinion that based on my analysis of biology, this is not even my analysis, biological analysis of reality, this is correct. And what I'm also doing is I'm showing that a simple statement such as this should not trigger people because we've moved the goalposts so far in this country, we've become so soft and so weak that if someone makes a Make America Great Again hat on, they think that they're wearing a swastika symbol. And that's wrong. And so for example, to my death, I will defend someone to be able to burn the American flag. It pains me. I think they should be able to do it, and I want to have a conversation with that person. And I would say that's far more offensive than this, but if I said something like, so there's people that are intentionally provocative, okay? There's people that go to campuses that say...
you clearly are, which is not
No, there's people that...
You don't think this sign in your hat
No, that's exactly the point. If someone says feminism is cancer, there's people that go to college campuses and say that. I'm not going to say their name. This is a very simple statement that's a widely accepted scientific consensus.
That's subjective.
Is it?
This is
You're stating an opinion.
You're stating an opinion, and it might be a like scientific standard for some people, but that doesn't mean that because in your reality this is the truth, that it isn't subjective and that this isn't going to hurt other people. When you show up and you make this statement, that a lot of people that this might like counteract their very identity.
So two things. But you should never not say something based on someone trying to be offended by it. You should only say what you believe. And if that offends someone, so be it. Think
Why
very.
in this setting?
I'm sorry?
Why in this setting? Why
Well, because we have nothing but really good conversations and discussions. And I think what makes this country on the verge of going to a place we don't want it to go right now is we're afraid to go to places like this and have these conversations. I'm not. Obviously, I'm in the less than 1% of the consensus here on campus. But isn't that what makes civil discourse so interesting? Like, it's not easy for me to come here and have people say, go to hell, F you, and like, that's not fun.
I really respect that.
Right?
I really, truly do.
It would be like
But I do
going,
think-
it would be like going with, I hate a Christianity sign to a, you know, a church. And that's not easy.
No, and I'm not saying that is, and I really do respect you for doing this and for presenting
Sure.
your opinion, because I think it is important
Thank
to
you.
have civil discourse.
Yeah.
But I just think that for me personally, when I go into conversations, I try not to offend anybody and to have respect, and I try to state my opinions and beliefs, and recognize that those are opinions and beliefs, and that I come with my worldview and my bias, and not
Sure.
state things that maybe I believe as facts, because I think that makes me more open to the discourse itself than having it be in front of you.
No doubt, and anyone can come and say anything they want to me. That's the other part. And I'm not inciting any hatred towards a specific group of people. That's being wrongly inferred with this statement. And that's the broader point. So let me give you a point. People say, the president says X, Y, and Z, the president does this, therefore he hates this group of people. Let's just take a broad-based example. You may believe that, I'll disagree with that. But when you start to use these logical inferences, all of a sudden you castigate entire segments of the population. So people say, oh, that part of the country, they're all
Can you give
racist.
me an example?
Yes, for example, when people say flyover country, they're all racist, or they're slope-headed, or people in Alabama, they're backward thinking. Stuff like that. You hear that on the media every so often. That's such a gross overgeneralization, which happens when you stop talking to people.
Isn't this an overgeneralization?
No, I think it's quite specific. That's the thing. And again, I will defend this, and you could have your own opinion, disagree with it, but that's what makes it exciting, isn't it? That's what it's all about. Is I state facts, you state facts, and we have mutual respect without violence. Because violence is all bad. We agree with that. A lot of violence has happened in this city recently because people come at it from hatred positions. I don't want that. Now, there's a difference. I say nothing to provoke people. I say what is true.
I think you say nothing to provoke violence. I think this is to provoke people, to bring people into the conversation.
It starts
which I don't think
conversation,
is
but I
wrong.
do not intentionally try to offend. I don't wake up every single day and I was like, I hope I can get people to cry.
Right.
No, that's not my.
I believe you. But I think.
That would be very masochistic of me.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to get people to suffer.
But you
That's
can
not.
provoke people not violently, but to think and to speak to you, and I think that's what you're doing.
And look, you're having a conversation because of it.
I'm not saying that's wrong.
Cool.
I'm just saying earlier you said you don't provoke people, but I think this is
Okay, the tactic
not
might
in a
provoke
negative
people.
way.
Okay.
I think generally provoking.
Yeah,
is
I
used
think
in a
I could
negative
agree with that.
way, but
Yeah,
I think
but there are certain people that come to campuses who will say hateful things to try to get attention and push the boundaries of free speech.